Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne speaking, and this is a playlist called 27 Messages of Comfort from Heaven. This is chapter 11, a personal message from Peter, and I'll just let Peter speak. I'm very happy to be here with the Lord, and with you, Matthew. I'm famously known for the fact that I denied Jesus 3 times, and I come down to earth multiple times and watch pastors preach on my denial of Jesus, and I watch many pastors preach on my exploits and my life, and I don't hear many pastors preaching that I used to walk through Jerusalem and my shadow used to heal people. There's considerably less people that preach on that sign and wonder that people used to line up. Thousands of people used to come to Jerusalem and line up and wait for my shadow to pass over them. That's just the fact of life with how humans are, Matthew. They focus on the bad and they don't place much focus on the good, and that's why bad news sells, and the news is full of bad news and tragedy and bad reports about people, and the newspapers have gossip and speak bad about people, and pastors, they just continue to preach on my self-denial. Jesus said very clearly, what you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me. And so every time you walk past a homeless person begging for money and you don't reach into your purse and give them money, or you don't even acknowledge the homeless person, you've done that to Jesus, and Jesus has been denied thousands of times by the average Christian. You know, we walked past the beggar at the gate and he was asking for money. We didn't have money on us, but we healed him. We raised him so that he could walk. So that's what we did when we had no money. When Jesus had to pay the money for the temple, we didn't have money, but so that they wouldn't be offended, he sent me off to catch a fish and we got money in his mouth. So often the disciples travel without money, and so many Christians are in a place where they have so much money and they're not sharing their money. And I was so happy to see you gladly give that guy $110 yesterday. It really thrilled the heart out of heaven. And in fact, if truth be known, this book is a reward for that giving that you did yesterday. You've been searching or waiting or wondering how God was going to speak to you. You've been really suffering with your sleep in back to front, sleeping all day and being awake at night. You've been really suffering, and you've been suffering with the demonic that you've had to say a prayer to bind the spirits every day, and you've been suffering with your addiction, and you really needed people to speak. You really needed to hear from God. And now we've got 27 people that are going to speak to you. I want to encourage you that you're a battler. You're a person like me. You are full of questions and full of wonder and delight in God. And you've got so many questions for God, and so many miss. Um, so many mistakes that you've done in your life, and so much sin that you've done in your life. You feel unworthy of God so much, but God just continues to share with you that you're worthy, that you're loved, that He's proud of you, that He's happy with you. And God understands your pain. He understands your suffering. He understands the addiction that you're in. And the religious will never understand. The religious will take these things and say that you're mentally ill, and say that you're addicted, and say that you're demonized, and say they're reasons why you shouldn't listen to Matthew Robert Payne, because he's a false prophet and he's a false teacher. And the religious will always say bad things. But you know that you're loved and you're dear to God. And just like I was dear to Jesus, you're going to do miraculous works in the future. You're going to be really dearly used and really blessed by the Lord to do great things in the future. God bless.